Chicago, New York, Detroit. Those were the places in the 1920s where you really saw Black fashion coming into vogue because of the Great Migration and so many free African Americans moving north for a better opportunity. For the first time, you had a middle class, a really growing middle class in these northern cities. Now you have people who are socially empowered in a way that we'd never seen before in this country. And out of that grew an ability to play with fashion, to express oneself on the street. There were so many style icons in the 1920s. Having Louis Armstrong playing in Chicago, he brought out people of all stripes to see him. Noble Sissle, the show Shuffle Along, that was the first Broadway show with an all-black cast. That show really empowered people to think of themselves in a different light. And then, of course, bards of literature, people like Langston Hughes and Countee Cullen and Zora Neale Hurston. These individuals weren't just extremely brilliant and influenced culture, part of what was known as the New Negro movement, but they were also extremely stylish. It was a different sort of style icon, not something of the tabloids, but those who were also empowering the culture, starting to affect the culture in a totally different way. And then to see someone like Duke Ellington and how he affected the music and continued to change it through the years, that sort of thing is inspirational. You look at them and you want to dress like them. You want to be like them. I am inspired by a lot of the men who really dressed and showed out during that period, but my mind goes to the women and so many of the ways that women challenged the conventions that were commonplace in the periods before. So you had women who were going out to nightclubs and cutting their hair short, wearing elegant dresses that were a lot shorter than they had been. And then in Harlem, you had this incredible movement within the LGBTQ community. And you had folks like Gladys Bentley, who took on menswear or classic dress in a totally different way than had been experienced before. Folks like Ma Rainey, the way that she was on stage was a visual force to be reckoned with extravagant outfits that could only serve as inspiration for people's day-to-day. The incredible thing about the 1920s, especially in Harlem, is that regular people were able to show out just as much as sort of what you would imagine as your elite or your middle class. You could see someone on the street and they're worthy of being in a newspaper because they are expressing themselves in a way they never have. These streets were now teeming with the most stylish and elegant Black people and African Americans that you'd ever see. Honestly, the world was no less racist or segregated in these Black neighborhoods, but yet they had the pride and the confidence and the ambition, not only in their actions, but in their clothing. It was just is unmistakable. There are so many of us who take these clothes and these people in history and almost want to wear these clothes in a way that honors them. We wouldn't want to necessarily go back, but we can take the elegance and the fabrics and the pride and the style and move that forward.